Hey guys, cut my hair. My grandmother helped me do it. Not a lot less hot, but a lot more cold. Sorry, I haven't been on here very much, but I don't know if anyone will understand this, but I hope people do. My mother's dying. She's got class 4 liver failure, and fatty liver disease, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, scoliosis, another type of arthritis that I can't pronounce. There's 2 types. She's paranoid schizophrenic. She's got major depression and anxiety. She's tried to kill herself once, and I'm the one that found her nearly dead. Not even a few months after I found our family dog that got hit, we were trying to keep her alive for the night to go to a vet. And it was a neighbor that lived right beside us. He didn't tell us. He didn't have the decency after hitting our dog, then driving into the driveway beside us. He didn't have the decency, and he knew she was ours. Back when Mom, I found her, and my father wouldn't do nothing. I came down with our suicide note, and he wouldn't do nothing. I knocked on my little brother's door, who's bigger than me. I thought I could at least carry her to the car, and I could try to get to the hospital, even I didn't have a license. I didn't care. I'd rather get arrested than lose her. But he wouldn't pay no attention. So I called my brother, who lived up on the mountain. The mountain is a 15 to 20-minute drive. My brother got down here in about 7 to 8 minutes. I don't know how. I really don't. Maybe he was coming down when I called him or something, but he got here fast, and he went upstairs and kicked my brother's door down to where he had to get a replacement. He got in there first and dragged him out by his shirt and showed him my mom. And I'm sorry if I call her my mom all the time, other than our mom, because they haven't been here for years. They just take from her or don't talk to her, won't go into her room. My father's denying things, blaming the medicine they gave her for treating the diseases she had for it. And now she's really dying, slowly. And I'm here. I promised her back when I was a child. A teenager, actually, but I still was a child, and I still feel like a child. My mother is dying, and I can't do nothing to change it. And now she got a DUI because she got in a car accident, a really bad one with me. I'll explain that later. But she has 2 days that she has to serve to finish her 30-day for the DUI. But she's had COVID 3 weeks ago. She has a chest thing going on to where she's coughing up blood right now. And my dad won't take her to the emergency room because he says it's just because she's coughing so much as her throat. My dad's a know-it-all. I'm one too, I know that. I admit that, but I'll admit when I don't know something. If someone tells me, I'll tell them, I did not know that, I'm sorry. I'll admit when I'm wrong, but he will not. He has nearly let me and my little brother die from diseases. Me multiple times. He had the doctor that delivered him, an old man. My daddy is 6'6". This old man was only 5'1". And he was the one that brought my daddy. He helped birth my daddy from my grandmother. And he grabbed my daddy by his collar and dragged him down to his height and lower and said, if you ever ignore her mother's instinct to get her children fixed, I brought you into this world, I will take you out. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera a lot. I keep staring out the window and watching a storm. I'll show you. You can't see really well, but the wind's blowing hard. You see that tree in the background going. But I keep just watching the storm. Like a line of black clouds coming. I've been trying to call Rhea County's clerk office off and on today, leaving up messages that I guess no one got. And then tried calling frantically when I saw what time they closed. Someone kept picking up the phone and hanging up. The Rhea County, Tennessee police office, the county clerk's office, actually, was the one that did that. I don't care if they see this. If they want something, they can take it out on me. But I just don't want... They told her if she didn't have images by a certain time, and we couldn't get images over the weekend. And we've been trying to get the imaging come out, because she physically can't go to the hospital. They have to bring one out. And they're threatening to take her to jail, and she have to serve major time for delinquency when they told her not to come back until she was cleared. She's been trying twice now to try and go and do her last 2 days. And they won't let her because she's always been sick. And now they say she could, if they take her in, she's going to be in for a long time next time. And I'm sorry about my eyes twitching. I'm switching eyes. I can only see out of one eye at a time. Eye surgery gone wrong. Explain that later. But if you hear that, I'm sorry about my stomach growling. But she'll have to serve a lot of time, and she doesn't have much time left, the doctor said, when she was hospitalized for an ulcer that was making her bleed out. And see those limbs? That's the storm. That's a big pine tree that stood up to a lot. And it looks like it's rocking. I just don't want my mother to die in jail. I keep telling people that. I called and talked to a nurse. And when all I asked her was, is your mama still alive? I didn't ask her her mama's name. I didn't ask her name. I didn't ask anything. I said, is your mom alive? And she said, I don't have time for this. And then she started giving me advice, and I said, can I please just give you a little bit of advice? This isn't mean-spirited or anything. This is actual heartfelt advice. Because if you still have your mom and dad, you need to cherish every moment you have with them. Because you don't know when you're going to get bad news that sweeps them away. It's like a hurricane. You know it's coming, but sometimes you have no way to get out of its path without losing everything. I have a husband I haven't lived with for 8 years. My mom's about to come in. It's her birthday today. I'm spending most of it on the phone crying. She's begging me to stop, saying, please don't cry on my birthday. And all I can think about is she made it another year, but this might be her last. She might not make it to 69. She's 68. If I could pray for anything, she was so happy thinking about getting to 70. I hope she gets to 70. But I don't want her to suffer. I've told her I don't. That when time comes to rest, then I'll be okay. I'll go with my husband after making sure she's buried right and my brothers are safe and my father's okay. He's got heart disease, heart failure, saying he's going to die from it in 10 years because of the stress of my mom and me always trying to get him to take her to doctors and hospitals who he doesn't want to, but I get him to, because after the wreck she's been too scared to try to drive. My dad refuses to get a car for her because the car was totaled and it killed us, but we somehow walked away from it. I kicked the door open and hurt my hip, but that was an old injury. Like I said, that's a different story. And I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to talk to someone, and it feels like sometimes, if I'm on here, it feels like I've talked to someone. If anyone can pray for her, I appreciate it. The first friend I ever had was from a book, the Bible. My mother taught me to read by 2 years old. By 3, I was reading the Bible. I couldn't understand it. I read it all the way through, couldn't understand half the words, so I went to a dictionary and compared them, going through the Bible again, until I understood every word, the meaning of every word. But then as I'm growing, I'm having to learn the meaning, actual spiritual meaning behind it. And it hurts learning that. It hurts so bad. For every precious thing, for every leisure we give up, for every jewel or crown we refuse or drop in this life, we will have a gem and a great crown in the next. The Bible says, or that's just my way of saying it. I'm feeling lost. Not lost from God. I'm always there with Him. He's always here with me. But humans, I watch videos on here about kindness, acts of kindness, and I pray that we find someone that could help us like that, or that I could help someone like that. One time my dad was calling a homeless man a bum, needing to get a job. And without thinking, like I did to the kids at school, I punched him in the stomach. Hard. He reacted real bad to that, was about to whoop me. And then he started talking about I told him, he said, why I did it. And said, you need to go over to that man and apologize and give him something. And he kept talking bad about him, and I hit him again. I was angry. I said, every time you say something bad, you have to give him more. He said, he's a drunk. He's that. I said, no, Daddy, you don't know that. He could be a veteran that lost something greatly to him after he came home, because most of our Vietnam veterans did not get treated right when they came home. They go and fight for us, and people just turn their back on them. Is that it? Like they said in, I know this is cheesy, but in Hacksaw Ridge, that's it. You're over. You're discharged. You're just thrown away. Uniform means nothing anymore. And it's so true. That's what happens to a lot of our soldiers, the Vietnam veterans especially. We hurt our men so much, and it wasn't right. And the guy he looked at me like he was gonna cry, the homeless man, and he removed one of his jacket layers because he had to have multiple jackets in the cold. It was winter time. And he showed on him one of the deeper jackets, a green field jacket that had a sergeant, and I can't remember the name. I really can't, and I hate that. But it had his last name, and then it had patches on the bottom of it where he'd been, what troops he was in, and my daddy instantly regretted it. He gave the men what money he had in his pocket, and we went inside. And he asked me why I did that. I said, I've seen and read so much in school and on here about what happened to them. And I said, it's not right for you to just assume. And the Bible my dad's a religious man. I said, he started saying the Bible says you need to do for yourself. I said, not helping little people. And I stopped and said, judge not, lest ye be judged. And he asked me, what? I said, you judged them instantly, Daddy. You judged them. But you are not the one that has the right. So judge not, lest ye be judged. And how do you think God will judge you? And I got off track. I'm sorry. I ramble. Makes me feel better. That's the dogs. Bye. I'll talk more later.